Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about quantum computing. So we are entering into the era where the quantum mechanics have made bounds and heaps, and there are various complex problems in the world which the present computer, even the supercomputers, will find it very difficult to solve, like the amount of data, sheer amount of data that is available today. In order to process it, the computer will need a lot of power. So there are few complex problems which still exist in the world that cannot be solved even by the likes of supercomputer, and hence in that regard quantum computing has been gaining traction for a time now, and this is something which will be very helpful for the government of India. And considering this, that's why the government of India has committed a corpus amount fund to this particular technology. So in this video we will discuss about the latest mission, the amount sanctioned for it, and then we will also try to understand little bit about the quantum computing and its application. So just remember, UPSC has been asking in the prelims specifically the application of various technologies. So for an example, let's take the example of this year only, UPSC 2020 prelims examination. They asked about the application of drones. So that is how they have been asking questions. So in that regard, quantum computing, its application also become important. So let's start and try to understand all the concepts. So basically in 2018, like almost 2 years back, Department of Science and Technology unveiled a program called Quantum Enabled Science and Technology, or what in short has been referred to as QUEST. Quantum Enabled Science and Technology, and committed to investing rupees 80 crore over the next 3 years to accelerate research. So what is the purpose of this QUEST mission? It is to actually encourage research in the quantum computing, quantum technology in general. So for quantum technology, which is based on quantum mechanics, such kind of information is needed. What do you understand by actually quantum mechanics? Try to understand from that perspective, that when you have been studying your physics, the smallest like the matter that you used to consider is atom. Quantum goes beyond it, so it divides atom into muons, and that's how you understand. That's actually even lower than the atomic scale, is where you will try to understand how the atom below, like how when the level go beyond the atom level, what kind of physics plays out over there. So that is what your quantum mechanics and quantum computing and different other utilization of quantum technology is based on it. So for in order to provide research and provide impetus to the research in that field, Department of Science and Technology launched the QUEST program. Then in Union Budget 2020 and 21, which just spent by the last budget, proposed to spend around rupees 8,000 crore on the newly launched National Mission on Quantum Technology and Application. So this is the one which was in news, NMQTA. This is the one where the quantum technology, the fund around 8,000 crore has been earmarked by the government to give it to the development of various quantum technology as well as into various applications. The mission seeks to develop quantum computing linked technologies amidst the second quantum revolution and make India world's third biggest nation in the sector after US and China. So very recently you must have heard how China have started using quantum computing for going with the communication, because it has been realized that when you are using the quantum computing, hacking become difficult. So in order to make the communication hacking proof, or to preserve the data, quantum is something which has already been applied by the China. So in that regard, as of today, US as well as China has already started applying the quantum technology. So in that case, this particular mission, National Mission for Quantum Technology and Application, aims to place India in the third nation who will become the superpower or kind of a pioneer in the field of quantum technology. So that is the idea. That is why, what is the fund which has been allocated? So rupees 8,000 crore was provided for this mission. So remember this is important for this perspective, how the Indian government is embracing the latest advancement in science and technology. Now let's come back to the topic and try to understand more about what do you understand by quantum computing. So quantum computers compute in qubits. So if you have little bit idea of the conventional computers or the classic computers, how they work on bits. What is a bits? Bits basically a binary system. It is either 0 or 1. That is how your conventional computer works on. They are called as bits. But for the quantum computer, instead of the bits, they function on the qubits, which is your quantum bits. They exploit the properties of quantum mechanics, the science that governs how matter behaves on the atomic scale. So we just talked that how the matter at the muons level will actually function. That is the physics which is explored in the quantum mechanics, and quantum computing is based on that particular principle itself. What are the properties which is actually utilized? It includes the property of superposition, entanglement, and the interference. Superposition, you can see from this diagram over here that in classic computer you have 0 and 1. So only at one time it is two distinctive positions that will always be maintained. But in case of qubits, what will happen? You can see there is one point where there is two state. It's in between. So that is called as superposition. It is neither 0 over here nor 1. And this position is called as superposition, and that is one which is exploited when you are trying to use the quantum mechanics in quantum computing. Apart from that, there is also a principle of entanglement, which means even when there is a distance between two, 0 and 1, the same behavior would be proposed in both of the things. This is something which the Einstein has called the spooky action at distance, because even if they are far apart, it doesn't matter. They are entangled in such a way that one behavior of one state would be copied into the other instance. So that is how your entanglement works. And finally, there is also a principle of interference, where not only superposition, where you are talking about the one state exists, like two state existing at one point of time, but even over there is an interference, like even the light or direction of light in which that is happening will also be hampered. So these are the three basic principles which the quantum computing utilize in order to process fast all the information that is available. So I hope you understood this part. For your examination point of view, you again do not need to know it in depth. So they do not expect you to master the quantum computing. It's a different domain. What is expected out of you is you understand in general what is quantum computing, and you know the principle of superposition, interference, and entanglement. Just the basic definition, just the idea of it. You don't have to really go in deep and understand everything. Okay. Now let's move forward and comes towards the application part. So this is going to be helpful in research. Like for an example, there are various fields in case of your genome, for an example, genome sequencing. Quantum computing could really help to pace up the research over here. Then in pharmaceutical, like even in the time during this time when we are facing the vaccine drive, when we are trying to create vaccination for the COVID-19, which has really like put a halt all over the world. In that case, quantum computing would have really helped in pacing up the vaccination and drugs formation as well. Then it has a major role in case of security, like I was just talking about how it could help in improving the cyber security. And apart from that, for an example, for military communication also, this could, because it could actually go around without being hacked, and it could be like really fast. So military communication could also help from the quantum technology. Then you also have the case of disaster management, like all the data which is available, all the speculation which could be done by the Indian Meteorological Department in order to predict the weather. This could really help. Quantum technology could really help to process the data in a better way and hence predict the disaster at an earlier stage, facilitating better disaster management. So these are the basic application you can understand. Apart from that, you can see over here it would help in the field of cryptography. Like we know that there are a lot of phishing going on the internet communication. So in that case, cryptography become very important, that the data which is present or which is sent over the internet is actually secured. So quantum computing gonna help in the cryptography. Then medicine and material, we just saw how even in the development of new material, new drugs, also quantum computing will help in creating better simulation. Then machine learning. Obviously, we are also entering into the industry 4.0, industrial revolution 4.0, which is highly based on the things like your artificial intelligence. So in that case, it becomes very important that machine learning is also done at a pace which could keep in touch with the ideas like internet of things and everything. So quantum computing will help over there. And finally, searching big data. A lots and lots of data has been generated by like almost every person living on this planet now. So in that regard, that data need to be processed. Raw data is of no use. That data need to be analyzed and processed, and you need fast, powerful computers to do that. In that regard, also quantum computing will be really helpful. So these are the basic application. If you really in your examination, there could be extension to these application, but these are the main one. So in the research itself, if they say that this quantum technology will help in improving the social infrastructure, then it actually true, because when you are doing research and when you are providing better means, you will come up with novel ideas of imparting education, providing health services. So all this actually become an extension of all these services. So I hope you have understood this video. This topic is important from your GS paper 3 and as well as various government initiative under the social justice sector. So I hope you have understood everything we have discussed so far. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.